Welcome to another video. In this video I'm going to redo my LED lights in the pop top. Here I am slinking into scene because first things first, I'll need to raise the roof. So one thing to bear in mind when you watch this video is that I have an aftermarket pop top roof, so it's not a standard Bongo roof. And here's the problem, the old LED lights are all gone all droopy and saggy. Bit of a sad state of affair there. I kept them up with some mains cable clips and just not up to the job, I'm afraid. Another thing I want to do is to reroute the wires, because I've got too many wires going down there, because the power to the actual unit used to come down the side there and it would always be in the way when you were sleeping up there. So I want to reroute it to the other side and have it come down the other end of the roof, so it'll be completely out of the way. So the first thing to do is to remove all the old wiring. I'm actually going to reuse the lights because the lights themselves are actually really good, so I like the fact they are colour changing LEDs, which is mega. So got all the wires stripped out. Now I just need to measure everything, so I just need to know the end measurement and the measurements down the side just to give me an idea. So I'm going to repurpose these old bed slats that I've got because they happen to be just the right width for the job. I'm not going to spend any money on this job, just so you know. Going to be a real cheapo about it. So here's the LED light bar, because they're quite good, those light bars, because they are kind of waterproof as well. So I'm just marking out a kind of a groove or a trough, if you will. I said something else earlier and I can't remember what I said now. A groove, trough, I don't know what I'm going to call it. Yeah, so I'm kind of cutting this trough to sort of accept the LED light, as you'll see there. So I just run it through by moving the fence along every time, just so I can take out all that material in the middle. And I just give everything a little sand because everything's a bit rough from the table saw. As you can see, it's super smooth there. So I've created my channel / trough, and the LED lights now slip in there and they fit in really nice and tight, so they're not going to go anywhere. So that's exactly what I'm looking for. So I'm going to do the same thing on the other side of this piece of wood, and then that's not the height of them. I'm going to trim them down so they're a lot thinner. In fact, I think I'll do that now. Yeah. So I'm going to get them down to the desired thickness that I'm looking for. So there we go, I've done that for both sides. So I didn't have a long enough piece of wood to do all the way across, so I've gone for the two halves, and I'm pleased I did because it is a curved roof, so a whole piece would have looked a bit weird sagging down a bit. So I'm just cutting them to length now and giving them a little test fit in there. So as you can see, they kind of like meet sort of higher up in the middle there, which is fine, which is cool. So something I didn't show you on the video was I cut another groove all the way down the middle to accept the wires, so they'd go underneath each LED light bar, and I'm just sort of creating an extra wide sort of one at the end because there's two wires at the end. So yeah, I'm committing to this, and yeah, I'm going to cut that wire and get these all soldered up. So when I took the electronic parts to pieces earlier, I did actually notice that everything was wired in parallel, so that's made my life a lot easier because I can wire up these two bars at the top and just have a single wire going down the side of the pop top, so I haven't got all that tons of wire going down there. So I'm going to put everything in a bit of shrink wrap. This is my last piece of shrink wrap, which is a bit sad. I wish I had more for this job. So I'm just attaching that one sort of like piece of wire that's going to go down the end there. So there's 4 wires in these LED bars to sort of make the colour changing LEDs happen. So that sits in that end groove pretty good. So here's the rest of the LEDs, and I'm going to take the electronics out again. So this unit used to have 4 LED bars and all 4 wires would terminate here at the back, but that's just too many for me. So I'm just labelling up all of the wire colours here, so when I resolder it I know what I'm doing. So I've now just got to solder my single wire, which is coming from those 2 LED lights, back onto the circuit board. that's looking pretty good. And hello, we've seen this fluffy stuff before. So this was the same kind of sticky back felt stuff I used on the gas strut video. I just needed a little piece down the bottom there just to make that circuit board sit level in that little box. So that's all done, so I just need to put the lid back on. And I'm happy with that. Okay, so next thing to do is to create some lids to cover the wires. They're going to kind of like sit in between the LED bars, so it makes it like one nice neat unit. This was a bit of a fiddly mess, to be honest with you. It's really difficult with all the wires underneath and everything, but I kind of made little grooves on the end just so the wires would sit nice and neat underneath. Oh, there's a cat. Hello, cat. Nice of it to drop by, wasn't it? And there you go. That's the kind of the lids, how they'll fit on there. I'm just trying to make everything kind of a push fit at the moment. I don't want to just glue everything together just in case everything went wrong. So here we go, a nice little sand down of everything so it's all nice and smooth. So now it's time to install these in the van. And as you can see, I've got like a wooden lip on my pop top. Like this is an aftermarket pop top, so it does have this kind of like wooden lip which goes all the way around the edge. So that's pretty handy for installing things like this. By the way, I'm not going through the tent, it is just going into the wooden lip, by the way. So where those two bits of wood meet in the middle there is a bit of a crack which I didn't like the look of, so I've made this aluminium kind of angled thing, which I'm not 100% about. I might replace this at some point, but it'll do for now. Oh, removing the tape. Nice. All the caps are on, and there's that bit of aluminium which I'm still not sure about. I don't know, but it's just covering the join there. But the rest of it's looking pretty nice. It's just all you can see there poking out there is the LED bars, which I think is pretty cool. So here's a top tip for you. These little cable ties that are a bit too big for a single cable, I discovered you could do this. You can cut them down the top, and this makes a nice little tag with like a little hook. Now you get two out of this as well, so that's pretty good. Like that, there you go. That looks pretty cool. It's really neat. It tucks it away at the top, so I think that's a pretty good tip. It's about the only good tip in the video, so enjoy. So there you go, tucks it away really nice. Everything's looking a lot neater than it was before. And yeah, I'm using another one of those tags. And there's the electronic box. And now it's time just to put the power lead on. Now, at the moment, I'm not going to bother putting this on a switch just yet because I'm just going to use this 12-volt power lead, as you can see there. And you'll see where I put it in a second. But I will be redoing all the switches in another video. So at the moment, this is just going to plug straight into the solar charge controller, which does have its own little button there anyway. And I use this little controller to change the colour of the LEDs, which is really handy. And there we go, they do actually work. What we're going to do, we don't want to see it in the daylight, we want to see it at night. So let's roll the final shots and see what these look like. So I hope you agree that these look pretty cool. It's definitely neatened everything up. I'm really happy with them. And yeah, I'm really pleased to have my LED lights back in operation in the pop top. So I really hope you liked the video and you found some of it useful. And I hope you like and subscribe to the video, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.